Other news today, the ANC's January 8 statement comes at a very uncertain time as the country deals with social and economic issues amidst the coronavirus pandemic. And some people would say this is also a time to question the state of the party itself. Well, let's explore some of this with our reporter Mangoba Mkhunu, who's outside the head office of the governing party. That's Luthuli House in Johannesburg. Mangoba, very good morning to you. Of course, members of the ANC specifically and its allies in the South African Communist Party and the Trade Union Federation COSATU will be awaiting to hear what the president of the governing party will be saying in that annual January 8 statement tonight. But in the meantime, some of them have been voicing their views. I know you spoke to the SACP this morning. What did they say?
Well, certainly, but then the SACP also saying that it's looking forward to hear what it is that President Cyril Ramaphosa will say when he delivers his January 8 statement today. Of course, the party celebrating its 109th birthday today, but not quite the usual ceremony that we see, the usual rallies that we see take place during this time of the year. Of course, it's all happening virtually due to COVID-19. But in terms of the expectation for Dan, the SACP saying that, of course, that issue of COVID-19 is top of the list in terms of what they expect to hear from the president today of how the party in particular will deal with the pandemic and what are the plans going forward. We know that there's an issue of the vaccine that is currently underway, and the SACP and the Tripartite Alliance partners, COSATU, have been very vocal in terms of calling for no corruption in terms of the procurement processes involving that vaccine, saying that, government should watch at all costs that it avoids another indictment in terms of corruption. Of course, this, as we saw during the COVID-19 procurement saga. So they've been quite vocal on that particular issue. And of course, they're saying that this is one of the issues that they expect the president to deal with, how they will deal with corruption within the ranks of the ANC. Of course, this is one of the issues that the president also spoke about during his address last year in Kimberley, and taking quite a strong stance on corruption, saying that the party will strengthen its governance structures to ensure that it roots out corruption. So there's certainly a lot of expectation from the likes of the SACP that the president will speak toughly in terms of corruption. But not only that, in terms of the issue of corrupt leaders within the ANC, and that step aside clause that was part of the resolutions of the ANC's 54th National Conference. Of course, they're expecting the president to also touch on that. But we did ask earlier on about the fact that what do they make of the fact that the ANC-NEC didn't discuss the issue of the Secretary General, given that decision by the Integrity Committee. And the SACP saying that they want the governing party to implement this resolution in a fair way to all members equally. And they're saying that at this particular point, they want the party to deal with those regulations, in formulating some of those regulations to deal particularly with this issue. That at all costs, the issue of taking action along factional lines should be avoided by the party, because they say this could further divide the party. But in terms also of some of the things that they're expecting, they're also expecting the president to touch on those resolutions, especially around the issue of expropriation of land without compensation, and also the issue of radical economic transformation.
And very briefly, Mangoba, mood-wise, what are you picking up? I mean, is a lot of excitement, anticipation? I mean, the country is going through very difficult, uncertain times.
Well, it's quite difficult, Pradan, to say what mood is there, because, there are no celebrations, and this is happening virtually. But what I can tell you, Pradan, is that in terms of the build-up, in terms of the build-up to that speech by the president, we know that there will be various activities that will be taking place, starting with some of the statements that will be made by the veterans of the party on the virtual platform about the importance of January 8, as well as a memorial lecture of Peter Mugaba, which will be delivered by the ANC Youth League, and also a Charlotte Makwege program that has been set to take place later today. It's an intergenerational program, but that's the word I'm looking for, that is expected to take place. And of course, the build-up to that important speech. The president will deliver that speech at 7 p.m. tonight, of course, to highlight some of the issues, and the expectations, of course, is that it will highlight some of the key priorities of the party and what it is that government will do in terms of its own processes and in terms of its own sort of programs that it will be laying out this year. So that will certainly become clear after the president delivers a speech later today.
Thank you very much, Mangoba Mtuno, outside the ANC's head offices. That's Albert Luthuli House, that's the Thuli House in Johannesburg. Now,